Welcome to the first episode of 2026 of the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast presented by FanDuel. I want to give a thank you to FanDuel for being the official sponsor for 2026. We're going to hear more from them later in the show. Jimmy, happy 2026. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you since the New Year, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. What's going on? How are we? We got a lot to talk about.
Happy freaking New Year.
Happy New
Stache
Year.
Club Wrestling, baby. Let's freaking go. Happy to be here. What a weekend of wrestling. What a Monday Night Raw we had. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things. Yeah, I think I was just making that joke the whole stream. Just like, it was awfully strange. People are mad about the incorporation of the Stranger Things-ness in the show. I didn't mind. I think because I'm not really a Stranger Things fan. I watched season 1. And then, it's not for me. I don't really like the show. So, it not being too intrusive, I was like, this is great.
For me, I have not watched one lick of Stranger Things. And to me, it was really nice to see the setup. They really tried.
That's what I liked about it. Yep.
But come to find out, it was kind of, they had to do that because none of the cast showed up.
Yeah, I heard something beforehand that's like, oh, the whole cast. I thought maybe it was I thought it was going to be the cast was there. Maybe it was just the whole cast is invited, which we can say, we invited the whole cast to this episode. And they didn't show up. You didn't say anything.
Unfortunately,
you know what I mean?
7's a character.
11.
11. 6, 7. Yeah, whatever.
7. I didn't mind it. If we want to just die, obviously we have some plugs to get to. But in terms of the whole Stranger Things thing, I know some people were disappointed, but I don't know. I liked it. I think also because and maybe it is just we're so used to not that much in terms of the visual appeal or themes or spectacles or whatever, and even they're just getting a unique stage design. Obviously the show ended up being what it was. For some reason, people really hated it. I'm excited to really get into the whole WWE landscape happened over the past week. But I didn't mind the Stranger thing. It was silly. It was a little campy. Graves coming out of the van and Cole stumbling out and being like, "I'm old," was a funny way to start.
Oh yeah.
But also people were expecting. Which it's very funny that because nothing silly and over the top happened, then the conversation is they didn't do anything. There was no one dressed up as Stranger Things. There wasn't a Stranger Things match. But then if all that happened, the discourse is this is stupid. They really had R-Truth dressed up as a Demigorgon, and what the hell is an upside down world match? You know what I mean? So I think it was I think it was a nice middle ground. Sure, if I was a Stranger Things fan, maybe I would have wanted more and look at it different, but I don't know. Before we really get into things, let's some plugs off. Folks, first of all, again, Happy New Year. We're excited to be here. I might turn down the exposure on the camera a little bit. We're a little bright. It happened in a couple of areas. We're a little bright, but it's neither here nor there. A little peek behind the curtain for you folks. Please follow us on everything. Stache Club stuff, all that is in the description, as well as Jimmy and I's socials and personal YouTube channels. We're posting and streaming over there. And hit our Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for a bonus pod episode. Right after this, we take your questions. We chat about more wrestling and more non-wrestling stuff. It's a good time over there. I think those are the plugs. Ooh, maybe one plug, not to put you on the spot. And then this is maybe a preview to Patreon, but do you have just a resolution? I'm sure you can just pick one, or if there's something that comes to mind for 2026.
Ooh.
Could be content-wise, could be personal-wise.
I want to be heavily involved in a professional wrestling match, whether that means to be in the match, whether that means to referee, whether that means a interference spot.
Manager.
Okay. Ring bell keeper. Is that a position? Ring announcer. I can sing the national anthem. I have a great set of pipes. I really do. I think to be involved with professional wrestling live would be something
cool.
It would be a goal of mine.
I like that a lot. I did ask you the question. I didn't really have one in mind for myself. I usually make resolutions. I usually make goals going into the new year. But I guess numbers wise, I'm thinking 200,000 on Stache Club, and I want, I don't know, 50,000 on John Moonsault. But also maybe a non-wrestling thing. I want to read more. I just bought a book yesterday. I want to read more. So magazines count. Magazines do count. Yeah, this rocks. You brought in your, you found your whole thing on magazines. This is a cool one. I haven't seen this one. I've seen a lot of Ray ones. Whoa, he has a cut on his head. What's that from?
Ouch.
Damn, this was like the
Probably last
Apocalypse
night
or some shit. Maybe last night.
I picked this one because he made an appearance last night. Him and the I was trying to think out what to call these lads, the three masked lads. And I was we're from Massachusetts, so mask holes was something among the mind. But I've settled now on three Masketeers.
Three Masketeers, sure.
They
can't be the Lucha Bros. I guess they could be the Lucha Bros because that's not taken apparently because they won't put them with Rey Fenix. Very funny. Not to jump around. We'll kind of dive in a little more specific in a second. But very funny to, which maybe I missed something. But they're really pushing the story of like it's the Vision versus Luchadors. When did that happen?
Yeah, I mean the slow build to like the Logan Rey Mysterio beef a little bit.
Sure, but it's like they took a couple steps further, and obviously Penta kind of has a little bit of history there. But very funny just to be like the Vision is trying to take out the Luchadors, and like which I love. I love Lucha. I love everyone involved, but it's very. I was kind of sitting there being like, I don't know, but
or for Dragon Lee too, he kind of just got sucked into the mess. He was just tag team champions with AJ Styles, and now he's fighting battles with the Vision.
Here's the thing: I thought he was gonna be in catering though, so this is a way better look than I think me and a lot of people had.
And then you mentioned Rey Fenix, big match next week on SmackDown against Trick Williams, which we gotta talk about him too.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's dive in. Maybe we just start out with the ending of Raw last night: Braun Breaker versus CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship match. A fun match, first of all. Not to jump ahead of it, but I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the ending, but maybe that's a fan, maybe that's a podcaster. I can't tell. But really fun match. The jumping lariat. I saw someone say like he hit a jumping whatever the F. We're early into the show. Just clobbered Punk. Punk hitting the STF was really cool. I thought they obviously the Frankensteiner missed on the first one. I think they did a good job making up for it. Punk just then hitting the elbow, then resetting up for it. Didn't feel too like whatever.
And you can kind of paint the picture of like that was what was supposed to happen almost like Braun just slipped up. It was the kind of the youngness of Braun right there, and they Punk didn't hit him with the elbow drop after. They then repeated the spot right after, so you knew it was definitely kind of a mess up. But
but I don't like I agree with like stuff like that. It's like at the end of the day it is a fight, and fights aren't supposed to be sure you take it to the art of wrestling, and it's supposed to be the goal is to be polished and everything works out perfect, but especially with who Braun Breaker is, and he's a car crash of a human, I don't mind him like going a little too fast and slipping up, and especially if they make it work and they play off it and whatever. Happened a couple times.
This match was a bit sloppy, but to tell you what, man, they added up to the level of excitement and anything could happen. The unpredictability, it was something else. I got sucked into this match big time.
No, I liked it a lot too. But how do we feel about the result? Braun Breaker losing clean to the Punkster. CM Punk closing out the first Raw, first Stranger Things Raw, first Raw of the new year, and the final image was Punk standing on the ropes, holding up the world title, a mid-40s Punk standing over a defeated, head in his hands, 20-year-old Braun Breaker. And I know I want to hear your answer, but the thing that I kept circulating around the whole night in my head, I saw the statistic and I cannot get it out of my head. There has never been a WWE World Champion born in the 90s. Isn't that? And that's as time isn't real, you think, someone born in the 90s, that's gotta be like early 20s or like whatever.
Cody Rhodes is born in the 90s, right?
Right. No. Exactly. No, he is not. What that means is there hasn't been a world champion between the ages of 27 and I think it's 35 or 36. That's grown men. And there has like people have multiple world titles up until that point. And I feel like I always get on here and talk about you got to give it to the young guys and da-da-da. And I get some pushback, be like, they're not ready, whatever. First of all, I don't understand. I don't understand the crowd that's like Braun Breaker's not ready. First of all, yes, he is. He's a pro wrestler on Raw. Any wrestler on Raw should be able to step up and get the world title. They're professional wrestlers. You know what I mean? What are you talking about? We're not ready.
Anyone that says that, Braun Breaker is more ready for that spot than you are at anything in your life, my friend.
Right. Sorry. So go ahead. I'm curious what you think about the ending and the result.
I'd tell you what, if you remember last week, I was kind of on the, it's not the spot, it's not the time for Braun. And let me tell you, as Braun Breaker is my favorite wrestler, it was a very conflicting, moment being in that match. CM Punk, of course, among my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I truly did feel like, I'm kind of a sucker in my own head for, my guy Braun Breaker being crowned his first world champion at a WrestleMania, like many other of the top stars of the industry have done. So I was very excited for this match, and this match delivered on many fronts. CM Punk's petty Letterman jacket to his dad, that was beautiful. Braun looking chiseled as stone. This was a very fun match. But then you get to that spot where the viral table spot, one of the coolest ways the new tables have broken in a while. And let me tell you, man, in that moment, I posted my reaction for my stream. You gotta crown his ass. You gotta crown his ass. And it felt right after I was calling them the Three Musketeers in the Vision. Kind of we separated from them because they got involved, and they should have been a disqualification, in my opinion. I know there was no like physical hitting, but like to me as a referee, I was kind of saying like, my guy, like, what are you doing there? This is getting chaotic. But we settled.
Bloodline rules.
Yeah, I immediately said that myself too. But we end off there, and then it's just one-on-one, and it was Braun Breaker CM Punk, and you have CM Punk doing the STF, Braun Breaker doing the armbar, and you know what I was kind of thinking about? Maybe I'm just a mark here, John, but like, CM Punk doing the STF, kind of an ode to Mr. John
I think
Cena.
so. That's what I thought.
Braun Breaker doing the armbar, is that a little salt of the earth?
Maxwell,
feuding with all-time AEW feuds, CM Punk, maybe, because I don't think Braun Breaker does the armbar too often. But regardless,
maybe he's a Ronda Rousey fan. I don't know.
Very well could be.
I'll tell you what, though, to stir the pot a little bit too. There was to jump back a little bit even before the match, the vignette leading into the match, and it showed Punk like winning the title, and it just kind of had this like building the story of Punk and Braun, and it started out with like a very yellowy filter over Punk, a very westerny sort of cowboy filter over Punk. I saw that and I was instantly like, looks like little cowboy shit to me.
Interesting.
I don't know. Here's the thing. they know what they're doing. That looked like an old western star. Obviously, Punk and Hangman that's a big thing. Also, which I hate to jump around. I do want to stick to Breaker for now, but there were 3 Chris Jericho references on the show.
Yeah.
Even like Adam Pearce, and I get him doing his little like intro to Raw before like on social media, him going like, who's gonna break the walls down? Apparently now, as a non-Stranger fans person, Stranger Things fan, apparently it was a reference to like them break, I don't know, some Stranger Things thing, but you know what you're doing. You're not working in the wrestling industry and saying break the walls down. And so like it was that, and then obviously they use the term learning tree, which is a phrase,
thing, yeah.
but still, you know what you're saying in these moments.
Very tongue in cheek.
I think there was like one other thing, I forget what it was.
It reminds me too of kind of leading up to the Cody Rhodes return from WrestleMania 38.
Yeah.
Leading up to like on TV, they would keep dropping Cody Rhodes kind of references, hints, or whatever, the mystery opponent. So Jericho looming for sure. That could have also added to the level of people being disappointed with the show, because I think the expectations of the show, Stranger Things, first Raw of the new year, Braun Breaker world title match, and yes, Braun Breaker. You gotta crown his ass, right? You gotta crown his ass. I even was referencing Punk being 50-something years old, as Braun himself has done in recent time. This was a really good match, so it's hard to be disappointed overall with it. Yeah. But you go to the larger discussion of like, should you have made the kid in that moment? I think so.
I think so too. I do see the other side where Punk did just win the title fairly recently, and this is his first title defense, I believe. I get it. You just put on Punk. You're not going to have him drop it immediately, but you then maybe don't put. And again, I also see that there's going to be a rematch in the future. Maybe A and B, this kind of leads the horse to a Royal Rumble win for Braun Breaker. I think now, after this loss, I do think there's still a Sami Zayn. People are still touting a Roman Reigns, which I don't know why I don't want a Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble this year. But Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble, I think would be fantastic. I do think you could have, he doesn't need the Rumble. This, I agree with you. I think this could have been the moment. It would have been like a shocking, cool, fun, moving way to start out the year. You did also have 2 other title changes that we'll talk about on the show. So were they going to have a third? Probably not. But also, who cares? Have a third. I just think I was so like, oh, come on. They're going to do something cool. Like they're going to, it's a new year. We are talking about new eras every single 3 months or whatever. And I kind of just got my expectations up and like, no, of course, like they're gonna play it safe and do the safe option and keep it on Punk. While I understand that it's just as logical as Breaker keeping it in the whole whatever of things. But no, I agree. I think this was the moment to make a new star, and you gotta take a risk. And I don't even think putting the title on Breaker is that risky. But like, you're not gonna have these 50-year-olds, late 40-year-olds forever. You gotta try something, the stranger, like I saw something where WWE or wrestling in general, and I don't know where I stand on this, kind of just bring it up for the sake of discussion. I'm curious where you are. We'd like to take a break in the episode to tell you about our sponsor today, FanDuel. The wild card round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the wild card round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boots waiting for you in the app. Pick the matchups you believe in. Jimmy, what do you believe in? What do you got?
I'm most looking forward to the New England Patriots in Los Angeles Chargers this upcoming weekend. The Patriots, Drake May. He has to win it. It's a big moment for him. I'm most looking forward to that matchup.
Take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring today's episode. Now back to the show. But I think for the past, I'd say couple of years, we've been kind of told that that wrestling is at like the biggest peak. And I think that was true up until and through WrestleMania 40, is that like this is the biggest it's ever been since the 90s. Now, I think we're on a lull in terms of mainstream appeal breaking out in the mainstream, to the point of even, I saw someone say like, oh, back in the day, they could get all these celebrities to be guest hosts and all this whatever. And you can't even get anyone from the Stranger Things cast to a Netflix show to the arena. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, and again, I don't know where I really lie in terms of that, but it is interesting, especially to the case of, if they think that they're on a lull, they're not going to put the title on. I'm going to use this term, not a new name, but not a no name, but a new name. Where if you have the title on CM Punk, people that aren't watching it hear like, oh, CM Punk's the world champ. Let me tune in. A lot of people, casual viewers, aren't going to hear, oh, Bron Breaker's the champion. Who's Bron Breaker? And they're just not going to give it a second thought, which they should. They should dive in and be like, who's Bron Breaker? But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know where I'm at.
I think you're totally right, especially when you pointed out that kind of WrestleMania 40, that time period was kind of the peak. When you peak, there's only one way to go down.
Yeah, you're right.
So we probably are going down. But to play devil's advocate, which why my original point last week was being sort of okay with CM Punk retaining here, was, a lot of people tuned in for this episode of Raw, seemingly, for the Stranger Things, for the amount of hype that was granted. And if that point you made for Bron Breakker, many of the casual fans may have not been too familiar with him. They got familiar with him tonight, and with the showing he showed against Punk, I think was damn good. You had that viral moment, and I can't be too much of a complainer, because I also was in the same breath leading up to this match saying like, just give me a clean finish, and this was for the most part a pretty clean finish.
Yep.
Although once you hit that table spot, that's going to go super viral. That was super memorable. Bron Breakker is the thing. He's an anomaly. But he throws Punk back in the ring and then immediately goes for the spear, gets his head kicked in, and then GTS, and then that's it.
Yeah.
It really, to me, took the sails out of me personally, just because I'm a huge Bron Breakker fan. And in that moment, I was like, oh, give me what I want now.
Right.
But I think there is something to that, delayed gratification of, yeah, Bron Breakker didn't get the job done tonight, but you should be supporting him. And two, one reason I was kind of against it was Bron Breakker, is the bad guy right now. Him beating Punk. The dogs were certainly barking last night in the Barclays Center. They certainly were.
I'm glad you brought that up because the crowd wanted Breakker.
There were still some punkers.
There
though.
were. Believe me. But when he picked him up for the first tease of the GTS, crickets.
Yeah,
crickets. The crowd didn't. Also, there's a whole other discussion. Like, this is a Brooklyn crowd, and they were not sound like Brooklyn. But that's a whole other thing. But the crowd, and that's how you build a star. You told the story in the match, and the crowd naturally got so behind Breakker and were so hot for him. And now, 100%, like especially toward the ending, it was way more split. Because at that point, it was Punk, and he just kicked him, and now you're actually gonna hit the GTS and da-da-da. So there's definitely, I'm not trying to discredit that at all. However, I do think it was very obvious that the crowd was cheering and hoping for Bron Breakker, this young new guy, to get a world title. I fully agree.
And I think the roller coaster is still going. And
Sure.
We're gonna get there, Bron Breakker. We are, and maybe a Rumble.
I hope so.
That's why too. I was also kind of fantasy booking like maybe this would be, Paul Heyman's time to turn on Bron Breakker, which would be kind of maybe too soon, especially for how much the vision has been changing over the course of the last few weeks. But I think that would for sure for me turn Bron Breakker into a definitive baby face, and at that point he'd be the all-time huge favorite to win the Rumble. Shout out FanDuel, put it all on Bron Breakker to win the Rumble. But now. I mean, there's still plenty of other options. Bron Breakker, Roman Reigns.
Do you think? How do you feel about Breakker winning the Rumble?
I would absolutely adore it. I still, I mean, regardless of babyface or heel, he still has the massive momentum of this, and the vision backing him, and it would set up a world title match between maybe him and a rematch against Punk, which I'm not too crazy about. I think there'd probably be some kind of title change in the chamber. But Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns does it for me. Bron Breakker versus Cody Rhodes does it for me. Bron Breakker versus Gunther does it for me. So if you can oppose, or maybe Seth Rollins, if you can get him healthy enough to kind of bring that full vision together, would be good. But I don't think he's going to be healthy by WrestleMania. But Bron Breakker in the main event at WrestleMania, or at least battling for world title, is my ideal scenario for sure.
Yeah, I guess to move on from it, but yeah, I think glass half full is not just talking, but just put a little bow on it, I guess. Great showing. It's not like Punk killed him. Like, Punk was getting his ass kicked. And I would even argue Punk barely got the win, right? He got a definitive win, but it wasn't like you didn't squash him or nothing. Like, it was a Punk almost snuck out of there a lot. You know what I mean? He got the world title. So I think that's a good implication of like, we're keeping Bron around. He's still in the main event. Get a Rumble thing. Maybe, like you said, maybe a win at WrestleMania will be worth the wait. I think I and everyone else are just sick of waiting for something cool and new to happen. Kind of where I'm at.
Very fair.
All right. To move on to, we'll kind of honestly work backwards on Raw, and then we'll hit SmackDown and see what happened over there. But we have Stephanie Vaquer injured. That sucks, huh?
Oh, I was so disappointed throughout the whole segment. Yeah,
they showed her, I think before going to commercial, they showed her like walking. You saw her with the boot, and it was like, whoa. I guess she got an ankle injury last week. Now, at least the silver lining, if you want to call it that, is she came out, and people were nervous, I mean included, that she was going to vacate. I thought she was vacating.
It's like the most telltale sign when a wrestler comes out in the boot and the very slow, very sadness in her eyes and face.
Yeah, there was a couple of times, I think like early in the promo, she got a little maybe choked up. But yeah, so she comes out and then she says like, oh, this isn't going to stop me. She's not vacating it. She's going to be out for a little bit. And then Raquel comes out, takes her out even more, and obviously takes her out more backstage. But she was working on that ankle. So again, with that, and obviously it's in a boot, and like, they're obviously being safe and to the extent of what Stephanie can do. But I see that and I'm like, okay, it's obviously, she is out, so it's a serious injury. But to me, that says like, okay, well, it's not like she didn't vacate the title. She was taking bumps, and Raquel was working it. So hopefully she's like back by Rumble.
I'm just hoping it's kind of all work, but maybe not. Like, why else would you do this? She may need some time to recover. Hopefully, it's like maybe just a broken toe or something.
Right.
Maybe something not as super serious, but. Goodness gracious, you got to put Raquel Rodriguez in prison. That was so excessive. Attack after attack and brutal attacks. My wrestler to look out for in 2026, I believe, might have been Raquel, or I might have mentioned her in some breath during the Staches last week, and I feel good about that now. I feel like they have a world title match anytime soon. It's heavy favor Raquel.
And again, hopefully, I think that'd be a perfect Rumble match. I think because like I don't see Raquel being. I mean, she'll be a factor. She would be a factor in the Rumble, but I don't think she'd win it. So I think giving her a world title match against a healthy Stephanie Vaquer,
and not even opposed to Stephanie overcoming the injury, overcoming the odds, and just having a good match, and maybe a defense against Raquel. Put her over in that sense, give her that spot. But Stephanie and Raquel, I was very much into this. This shocked me. It kind of made me, very upset with Raquel, and I definitely hope Stephanie is okay.
Right,
but also I want to see this matchup.
Yeah, I'm really glad Raquel is in this spot. It's she's in the world title picture, which is what we wanted. But other than that, yeah, I guess I don't really have too much to say other than hoping for the speediest recovery to Stephanie Vaquer. There's an injury bug going around. A lot of shoulder injuries, a lot of just injuries right now in the whole industry, which is really unfortunate. And
it's not Jade Cargill's fault.
I started seeing too that I think someone said when William Regal put out that like big thing about the neck injuries, someone said, did he write that on like a sacred burial ground or something? Because like now everyone's like, even like Punk last night had the suicide dive and kind of landed on his head. Kairi Sane kind of had a tough landing with the Razor's Edge earlier in the night. So I don't know. People are getting like people were also then running with it all night, being like, Regal's pissed. Regal's losing his mind.
Yeah, I shit my pants during. You see that? Remember that pile driver? That was not a smooth pile driver from Punk to Break.
Yeah,
he's almost kind of trying to be like too safe.
Right, he like landed like way too, but I guess better than on your head, I guess.
No, Steve Austin disagrees.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to another thing I'm kind of disappointed about. Maxxine Dupri lost the IC title. Yeah. We can't have anything. We can't have anything.
No, we had it for a little bit, but it would be nicer to have it for a longer, more substantial, maybe, to relish in the victory for longer. And it's going right back to the man, Becky Lynch, but who, again, won my Stache for Talker of the Year and has been phenomenal, even taking, Big Cat Kita under her wing in some ways in her vlogs, and she's been great. But, yeah, it's a little disappointing for Maxxine to lose the title here.
Like, I like Becky. I think her character work is hilarious. I like the satire of it. Like she's great. I do just like this is the mid-card title. This having it on Maxxine to grow and be a star and have new matches is what the mid-card title is for. And just putting it back on Becky just was a lazy, unnecessary reset. As much as I do like Becky. And again, it's just WWE. Just how come we can't like trust these like young new stars? Sure, Maxxine, like, is Maxxine an AJ Styles level performer? No, but not for one, not everyone has to be. Two, she's vastly improving, and you can only continue to improve. You are in the ring, in the spotlight, and obviously, yes, she does train. But like, she had this new character. The crowd was so over with her. Why couldn't we at least get like a 2-month run with her like defending it against people and having a different story? But instead, and again, this kind of goes to like WWE is only about moments. You get that moment, you get that Maxxine Dupri wins, and like, all right, we already got the viral clip. Nothing else matters. We got it. Let's put it back on Becky. Right. It's I don't know.
But even earlier tonight, we got new tag team champions. We had the moment there.
You're right.
But to try to make some sense of it, like I try to look forward to the future, and I am disappointed in this. But maybe Becky will be defending this maybe down the road against a seemingly part-time AJ Lee, maybe to finish that rivalry. And then for Maxxine, we love that moment. We love that for Maxxine, and it was so good to see that last week or 2 weeks ago when she won the title. And then this title reign's over, and we haven't seen Natty Neidhart. So maybe we can send her back into the dungeon for more vignettes, which I love that vignette with the training one, and maybe this could be more motivation for her to continue down her road of being aggressive and training harder. And God, please, maybe we can get Natty Neidhart, maybe her and Maxxine in the tag team division. So
for sure,
don't it is frustrating, but at the same time, hopefully there's going to be story brought out from this moment because again, Becky, it wasn't clean. Becky cheated. So
I hated it. I hated the ending.
Yeah.
But I was like, to that Natty Neidhart point is like that could have been also great with the title. Yeah. Then you get that master versus student thing for the title and Maxxine. And sure, I guess you can do that without the title, but why not have it with the title with your new star you just made?
I agree.
And the ending, dude. The ending was like, I don't know. Again, grain of salt. I get it. Becky's a heel. It was a heel way to win. Like it was creative. Like I've never seen a pin like that really. It just felt like, I don't know, dumb. I don't know any other way to put it other than like, I don't know. You're telling me the ref really didn't see it. Like, I don't know.
It wasn't a solid match either. I think there was some kind of wasn't their best showing. I don't think, and
they've had better matches.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
So overall, a bit disappointing. But.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we'll move on to Big Gunther and AJ. We got Gunther coming out, being the funny man he is, and this is where I don't know about your chat, but this is where a bunch of Save Us Y2J stuff started to come up, which I started to then get down the fantasy rabbit hole because I was like, and obviously, well, I guess to get it out of the way, as we keep on mentioning Jericho, we know all the reports now are he's probably gonna re-sign with AEW, and did you not see that?
No.
Oh, he's probably gonna re-sign with AEW.
Actually?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's this is all report and speculation.
Remember last week I was kind of saying he's gonna stay at AEW, and I was joking.
Yeah.
I should have stayed with it to be like I was a smarty.
But I guess going into Raw, he was still on the AEW alumni page, and now there's reports. Again, it's I have to emphasize it's reports that he is likely to re-sign with AEW. Really? So nothing's set in stone.
Okay. No, I still think he's showing up to the Rumble, man. You kidding? Well, he's on the roster page still. I did see that part at least. So
now there is a little bit stuff.
But then why teasing on all the little Easter eggs?
Hey, you're telling me. Yeah. You are telling me. That's a great question.
Man, that's weird.
But so I thought this would have, if this, and this is all, I guess this is all bullshit to say, but if this were to happen, I thought this was going to be the moment for Jericho, and then it's another one on Gunther's Infinity Gauntlet to put out a legend, which I thought would have been cool. Anyway, we got a different version of that, a better version of that, I would even say. AJ Styles coming out, which, I'll tell you what, this scared me, because I was like, I think everyone looking at 2026, and we were all looking at, AJ Styles is retiring in 2026. This made me realize he never told us when in 2026 he's retiring. We don't know when AJ Styles' contract is up. I've been sitting here thinking, we're getting a whole year of AJ. December is so far away. He could be retiring in February or March, or probably going to Mania. You know what I mean? Maybe he retires at Mania. Maybe Big Gunther retires at Mania. So I saw this and we're already getting the seed planted. They're what is it? AJ and Gunther are facing each other next week on Raw, which I do think will just be one match of hopefully maybe a 3 series or whatever. But I was very surprised that we're getting this now. One, because I'm still on the camp that Gunther should be the legend killer and retiring a bunch of people, which especially him getting paired with AJ seems like they're still going to do. But I am very curious why this is happening so early and right now. You know what I mean?
My brain was short-circuiting last night. I'm how can Gunther face AJ Styles if 2026 is we still have the whole year left? And I was like, wait, AJ could just retire very soon, and that'd be devastating. And it doesn't feel really. We just lost our GOAT, and it's been 3 weeks since we lost our GOAT. John Cena said we'd forget about him in 3 weeks. I haven't forgotten about you, John Cena.
I forgot about him.
But for me, I'm very excited for Gunther Styles next week. I don't really know what to expect. I mean, I do expect a Gunther victory in some ways, but at the same time, what's going to be happening after that? Will Gunther take it too far? Or maybe this. I mean, could you imagine if next week's the last AJ Styles rematch or something?
It can't
what?
Be.
No, it can't be. It can't be.
I do. Yeah, I do. I could even see this match being some sort of no contest too, and then like pushing off the match. But yeah, very, very curious. Why
Weird
we're
internet
so
question for you. Type like surrounding Gunther. Is his heat manufactured?
No, it's not.
What does that mean, John?
So I thought you were gonna ask something slightly different. I thought you were gonna say, which it's kind of the same discussion.
Okay.
A lot of people are like, 3 weeks have gone by and no heat. He's already gone. I don't know what people are talking about. When they showed him like walking to the ring like backstage earlier in the night, booze. And like 100%. Does WWE fake stuff and were they piping in booze for Dominic Mysterio? Yeah, probably 100%. I do not think his heat is manufactured. I guess to your point, I don't really even know what people are saying by that.
I don't know. I think it was Kevin Nash that kind of put that terminology out there for it, saying like I guess discrediting the heat that he's getting. I kind of don't understand.
Which manufacture doesn't make sense because it's supposed to be manufactured.
Everything's manufactured.
It's created
right?
and told. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's supposed to. I don't know what that means, but like I've been hearing people even saying like, oh, he's supposed to be this like big legend killer and he beat John Cena and he's out there and one, not getting booze, and two, he's like a comedy character now. He's funny. I don't know what I think people are grasping at straws. First of all, he's still getting booed out of the building for sure. He's still getting booze, and two, I love his like he's funny because he's cocky. I fucking love like he's only funny because we are 30-year-old internet fans. And we like Gunther and we see like, oh, I like what they're doing with the heel work. But if you're like just as a fan and seeing him still mocking Cena, he's laughing at you. That's not funny. You know what I mean? But it's funny in the context because sometimes we don't watch everything in kayfabe. I think that's what people are. It's another thing of people not understanding how they're watching it. You know what I mean?
My brain does split into half kayfabe when I'm watching.
Me too.
Where I'm like, fuck that guy, because when he has that big smile and he's just laughing at you, and then I think to him killing my goat, I'm like,
right.
Ugh. And then even so too, I think WWE had a holiday tour show in Worcester, not so far from us.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, the reports from the show regarding Gunther. People were scared for him. People were scared for him, rightfully so. I mean, you come back to the GOAT's hometown, the area, you're gonna get some attention for sure.
That kind of came in. I honestly didn't even know that was happening. That kind of came and went.
Would have been nice to get an invite.
I know. But like I and again, this is me like also playing like the half kayfabe, half real wrestler. Like I love his cocky, just like hits this. And my favorite thing that he does, and again, this is me being half podcaster, but also like I love it because I love the heelness and the jerkness of it. I don't know if that whatever. But like he's been doing it. I don't know what. I said jacket off the other day
nice.
and people were like, or like on Twitter because Ray, Punk, and Penta all wear sick jackets, and I was saying it was a jacket off, and so people were like a jacket off. But I love how he's like an old uncle where he's like hits the you can't see him and he just goes ah. I love the you wouldn't get it. It cracks me up every time.
Gunther should fully adopt the you can't see me.
I agree.
And I think it was even against before his squash match against Ron Cena, I believe on SmackDown fairly recently. The entire front row, the fans sitting on the guardrail, all of them in unison were kind of doing this.
Yeah.
And I thought it created such a cool visual and kind of painted that picture of like a post WWE Cena just so mad at this like evil villain for probably the rest of his career for what he did. And I think it's again Gunther was the right choice. I'll stand by that. It's still early, but it's good stuff.
I guess speaking of, I wish I said it at the top of the show, but I forgot to. I'd be remiss if we did not mention. I know the show's a little all over the place, but that's kind of how I like it. Congratulations on a retirement, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Obviously, it reminded me because a lot. John Cena gets called the Hiroshi Tanahashi of the U.S. Hiroshi Tanahashi gets called the John Cena of New Japan. Whatever. I saw some. I didn't see. Admittedly, hand to God. Cuff me now. I did not see the match.
You didn't wake up at 3 a.m. or what?
I know. I guess at that point, the main event probably would have been at like 5 a.m. or some shit. I do want to go back and watch the match, but I saw a lot of clips of people like coming out and whatever. And there's a whole discussion about like maybe it's a Patreon discussion about like Shinsuke not being able to go and like whatever. That kind of sucks. But I love the send off again as someone who isn't and didn't really grow up with New Japan, haven't been too exposed to like Hiroshi Tanahashi live through his career, but someone that's like looked back on it and kind of like, been getting more into, Japanese history and New Japan and whatever. Yeah, Hiroshi, I don't know. I would have been remiss to not mention it on the show.
A wrestling podcast not paying respect to one of the greatest
Right,
of all
I'm
time.
pretty bummed I didn't say it at the top.
That's true. We definitely should have. But even more so too, admittedly, like I'm not like super well versed in his work, but I understand the legend that is. Many people call me the Tanahashi of podcasting, and I really do appreciate that because that's high praise. So respect to one of the GOATs, Tanahashi, for sure. We fumbled not doing it at the beginning of the show, but hey, the middle of the show is also good too.
Show. There's a reason why I was gonna say that, and then I don't know. But anyway,
Cena Gunther.
I guess that's what it was. Yeah. I guess to bring it back to Big Gunther here. To the AJ point, I guess maybe because like AJ Styles, New Japan history. Don't know. I had a point. I forget it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But AJ Gunther, I think it's gonna be fun. I like this is what we're the direction we're going. I again, it makes me nervous that it maybe might mean that AJ is retiring soon. That might be the match, or this isn't the direction they're going. I don't know.
Maybe we can end off. Let's say Gunther Styles isn't a retirement scenario for AJ, and maybe just a big win for Gunther. Who do you see that's a real possibility for AJ Styles' last ever opponent? Because I was asked this on stream last night, and I really had no idea.
I guess I'm glad you said that because it did remind me why I brought up Tanahashi. Nice. But ideal retirement opponent. Realistic, we'll say, because obviously, like Samoa Joe would have been, my pick, 100%. Or a Kurt Angle that could go, NWE right now. I mean, like obviously Cena's retired, but like Cena would have been a great one
because Styles has been around WWE for 10 years. Is won WWE championships, but doesn't have like really besides Cena like a really like big rival to point to. Like
I would say, as not great as their WWE feud was, I guess I might say Shinsuke.
Yeah, that was someone that was like, that's a great point, and maybe they can right some of those wrongs, perhaps, or just a beautiful moment. I think in the New Japan history, so I think Shinsuke is like maybe it's a dual WWE retirement for Shinsuke. I don't know.
But the reason I think it's been very interesting as someone who has defended the John Cena heel turn, defended a lot of the decisions, and even especially, which I still defend, the retirement match and the decisions and whatever. It has been interesting to see the discussions comparing the treatment of Tanahashi with Cena, because there's images of the image that I saw was Tanahashi standing with all his comrades or whatever in a Ospreay, Omega, Jay White, Ibushi, Shibata. Naito, I think, was out there, maybe one or two others, and then he was all celebrating and whatever. And yes, he did still lose. He did go out looking at the lights to Okada. But then you cut to like the John Cena retirement, and he says an image of him getting choked out with a smile, and then Triple H giving him a big hug. And it is fun. And granted, it is picking and choosing images. But it has been interesting to see the contrast of the treatment. And I'm not saying that the Cena one. I don't know. It does just, admittedly, it does make me be like, maybe I wish the Cena stuff could have been better.
It's never easy to see something done. Again, opinions or whatever. See something done maybe the right way after something that was considered maybe done the wrong way. So yeah, it's definitely something jarring to see side by side two legends that were often compared to each other.
It seems like they nailed the Tana. Like I'm hearing the match was like a 5-star classic. A lot of people were hoping for Shinsuke to be the opponent, but Okada was like the perfect second choice. And obviously, like the way he went out with like being in the ring and everyone coming out and being a feel good moment as opposed to Cena's somber-ish moment.
I still love the Cena stuff.
I do too.
But the only thing that ruined it for me was the fans. So I'm still mad at the fans for doing that. But hey, that's my opinion.
All right, let's jump to new women's tag champs. Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky are your new women's tag team champs. This rules. I really love this. I guess I'll get this out of the way now. Sure, I do feel bad for Kabuki Warriors not really getting a real run, but people were like, I'm seeing people, WWE hates Kabuki Warriors. No, they don't. They're so showcased. Sure, like I do think like maybe could have used a defense or two, but That doesn't happen in WWE, you know. But I love that Rhea and Io are the champs. I think it is refreshing. I think it takes Rhea and Io, who are main event players, especially with like the emphasis on the women's tag division. Like you have a Charlotte and Alexa also in the tag division. They were tag champs. So a lot of people were getting sick of Rhea and Io taking up those main event spots, like I think as they deserved to. But them being in the tag division, getting tag titles, one, I think emphasizes the belts, and two, it gives, you know, moments to a Stephanie Vaquer, a Raquel Rodriguez, to, you know, a Jade Cargill to take these world title spots. You know what I mean? So I think I like this a lot. They're my favorite roommates. Love this team.
I cursed the Monday Night Raw when I was watching it. I'm like, I was so pleased with this match. Very solid, good start to a Monday Night Raw. Nice, very decent tag team match. Beloved babyfaces win the tag team titles. We love to see it.
Good stuff.
And I kind of just go, I'm like, oh, so, you know, naturally the show is going to be disappointing from here on out. And it kind of slowly was a little bit. So my thing was, maybe this match should have main evented. How do you feel about that take? Maybe the world title match should have started off the show, especially if we're getting kind of the predictable CM Punk, you know, retain.
It's not crazy.
The crowd probably popped louder than any other moment in the rest of the show. You know, here. So maybe and the women's tag team titles have main evented Raw numerous times. So I don't think it would be too out of the element.
No, it's not. It's not crazy. I guess I do just like a world title, whether it's the men's or the women's, to main event the show if there's a title match. I
always complain about the world title not having prestige, so that would go to that conversation too.
But I do, you know, like I said, the women have been carrying the WWE for the past, I don't know, however 1 or 2 years or even more at that point. So I don't think that's crazy. But now, I mean, instantly now we're seeing people are comparing this team to Batista Ray. Yeah. And it makes me awfully nervous.
Yeah, I know, and I've been kind of smelling and kind of looking at like the Rhea Ripley, and in some ways, and I know in the back of her head it bothers her that Io Sky, she's never been Io Sky one-on-one.
Io's better, that's why.
And the thing is too, like I do love this team, and I'm not quick to just be like Rhea Ripley heel turn, take out Io Sky, let's start this going, because I think you can. Maybe slowly build to that, or
you
even
can bring that to Mania.
You could bring it to Mania, and maybe not even in a heel babyface sense, because again, you know, it's been done before where, you know, tag team champions have faced each other one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. I think John Cena, Shawn Michaels were still tag champs for their one-on-one match.
Wow,
so crazy. I think that, you know, that could be a very good one-on-one match at WrestleMania between two of the biggest women's stars that don't require a world title on each of them, and that they just have an exhibition match between two friends. The Rhea wants to really beat Io Sky and prove herself, and I still don't think you do it there. I think Io Sky then beats Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, and maybe then on Monday Night Raw you got the Rhea Ripley heel turn, which will feed families, I think.
I do love, like, I love when wrestlers and characters always have like a thing to them, right? Like so and so was so good but never beat this person. So-and-so was so good. And as you know, as much as maybe while watching it, you're like, so-and-so deserved the world title or so-and-so whatever. But there is something, I think you've talked about this before, where it's like, there is something to like, so-and-so was so good, but he could never get the IC title. He could never get, Sheamus was so good, but he could never get that great. There is something to like them having, I don't know if you want to call it flaws, but these, you know, whatever.
So insecurities, or just even build it to where Rhea wants that more than the world title, even, which like becomes like an obsessive thing where it's like, whoa, this is real, pal.
No, I do love this long-term storytelling. And like I said, especially like the idea, like, you know, even through all it, Rhea cannot beat Io. Io is just too damn good.
But as of now, they're two of the best in the world. They're best friends. We love them so much. It's a great duo, and it's we're blessed. It's a crazy time for the women's tag team division right now.
And now people are looking at Rhea Io versus Charlotte Alexa being the big match. Maybe that's the Mania match. Who knows? Which granted is January. We are looking. I mean, the Mania is in 3 months. You know, we are. Well, I guess at the Rumble we're on the road to Mania. But also, if we can pause here, the lineup, dude, that we have of wrestling between now and Mania is bonkers. So we had this past Raw, which was hyped up as a big show. I apparently, news to me, a week before the Rumble, we have a Saturday Night's Main Event.
Okay.
And then we have the Royal Rumble the week after.
Yep.
And then there's something else the day. Is it an AEW thing or is it an NXT thing? There's something else like right after the Rumble. But either way, less than a month after the Rumble is Elimination Chamber. like less than in the same. Rumble is just it's on at 2 p.m. That rocks. Rumble is January 31st, and then Elimination Chamber is like February 28th or some shit like that.
Focus Pro on the 10th.
Focus Pro on the 10th. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing. Let's go
for sure. But I guess it's like I don't know what my point is, but like it's like there's so much stuff that's gonna happen, and like, you know, the Rumble is so close. Then whatever happens at the Rumble, we're instantly seeing stuff that's gonna happen in less than a month at the Chamber or whatever. I think people are calling it the upside down world of, not to Stranger Things reference it, but
new era.
We're in new era
every week.
Speaking of new era, you know, just as we were discussing that WWE not liking young guys and not believing in young guys, and Javon Evans signed to Monday Night Raw, got the official call up, doing it on a commercial. For those that don't have a VPN, doing it on a commercial. Not a fan of this. Not a fan of this, Jimmy. Love that Javon's here. Love that Javon's called up. That's not, but yeah, I don't know why. As much as he's been showcased, there was a couple weeks where he was on SmackDown, Raw, and NXT,
and AAA, and
right.
all these companies.
And you're not even gonna put him in the ring in a segment. You know what I mean? Like, huh? Like, you do it on commercial? I don't know. It sucked. I didn't like that at all. It felt so, I don't know, squandering or whatever.
Of all the segments to not include, I mean, you want maybe one of the more brighter stars to be seen. And again, like eventually I did see it on social media after, but I'm watching the show live and I'm doing a stream, and to kind of hear about it afterwards, like during one of the many commercials, was very disappointing. And it's very surprising right now, with the amount of NXT call ups and the ferocity of the amount of them. We have Oba coming up. We have Trick Williams on SmackDown now. I'm seeing rumors of Blake Monroe getting the call up soon. Jordan Grace face to face with Jade Cargill. So there's definitely a huge push for someone on the company, maybe the new year, the WWE, to be like, hey, we need new, hot, young, fresh stars. Here's the ultimate push for all of them. Some of them, you know, graduating from NXT possibly too soon. I know some people were very upset that Javon Evans had yet to win the NXT title.
Yeah,
I don't think it's the end of the world, and I think it's definitely the beginning of, you know, unfortunately the realization that NXT is developmental, and winning the NXT title isn't the end all be all, and then kind of the reality of once you get to the main roster, what you did in NXT kind of doesn't matter, which is, you know, not something you want to really tote as, you know, for NXT, especially because the work done there matters immensely. But Javon Evans is ready.
Yeah, I do definitely see, like, it's all a ladder, and I do see, like, the NXT Championship is a prestigious title, but what is above the NXT title is getting called up to the main roster. So, like, even if you're called up to the main roster and you're in catering, by just like the way the ladder goes, that still should be higher. Maybe I'm kind of being a little hyperbolic, but you know what I mean? That still should be, getting signed to the main roster should be higher than the NXT World title. But I don't know. I think I'm excited for it. Like, believe me, I am. I do think I just would have liked the story of him win the NXT title. But again, if we're on the main roster, it kind of leapfrogs it. I'm like, fuck it. I do love the Oba Femi videos.
Yes.
It feels so like old school SmackDown, sort of like we're teasing a new wrestler. Obviously, they're not like teasing it in the sense like, who is it? Like, they're straight up just like, look out for this guy. You know, we don't know where he's going to land on Raw or SmackDown, really. And I guess we can kind of go to, unless you had anything immediate on Raw you need to talk about, we can kind of just go right to some call-ups. You also mentioned Trick Willie on SmackDown, looking like $1 million, dude. This guy is a star. I think he nailed this. Oh, I'm hyped.
I think by comparison too, and this is all respect, but like anyone kind of looks like a big star next to Sami Zayn. No, I'm just joking. But again, I think that comparison, that face off was awesome to me, because it's like these two wrestlers are the polar opposites of each other. Trick Williams all flash, Sami Zayn, steak, steak and potatoes, like indie wrestler, one of the greatest of all time, kind of paid his dues. Trick Williams, fresh off whatever NCAA accomplishment he's done, NXT, written in the stars, a million miles away. This guy's made from stone, has that white, furry jacket, looking like he's the $100 million man in the NFL. Like, this guy, the presentation was awesome. And then, hey, hats off to look, I just mentioned about the importance of NXT. And there's some people that really don't like the NXT crowd, but like when things take off, such as whoop that trick, and you got the main roster upon this guy's main roster essentially debut. Everyone in that arena saying whoop that trick and having a freaking ball and making this guy feel like he is the next coming of The Rock. Hell yeah.
I think his promo was fantastic. I think he fucking nailed it. And like he felt like a bigger star than he was on NXT. Obviously, you have a bigger stage to be a bigger star on, but like no, the presentation was great. I agree. I'm excited to see. What all this with Sammy, coming down is. Sammy kind of came out there, which I loved the Sammy promo beforehand of just like, I've been saying it for years and I've never got it, but like I'm getting a fucking world title this year, and then Trick coming out being the first, adversity.
And then they set up to, I guess, next week or this week, we're getting Rey Fenix for Trick Williams on SmackDown. So that'll
be fun. I'm excited for that.
That's very exciting. Yeah. Don't love Rey Fenix's prospects in that match, but
Trick should win. Yeah. I don't love Rey Fenix losing. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Rey Fenix, to be honest with you.
It's a bit unfortunate, but what they're doing with Trick Williams is really good.
Sure. And you mentioned Jordan Grace, kind of also like a not officially signed anywhere, but she's probably gonna be on SmackDown, but like in kayfabe, not officially called up, just weighing her options, and she asked to talk, and like you said, had a little eye to eye with Jade.
Jade's injuring everyone on the roster, so they're gonna have to bring up Jordan Grace to face her. And I'm joking. Jade's my ride or die. But unfortunately, some of the reports are Meacham went down to injury in the match against Jade, and I think BFAB as well too. So, but Jordan Grace is thinking about it, mulling her options. To me, and all respect to the new Women's United States Champion Giulia, but Jordan Grace has Women's United States Champion written on her face. So definitely expecting that to be something that happens for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I guess with that said, we can just go right to that bit of news. Curious how you feel about this. I might even feel a different and an unexpected way than most people would think. But Giulia defeats Chelsea Green, become your new and two-time United States champion.
No, do the thing. Do the song. The Giulia.
I'm everywhere. I'm so Giulia.
I love that. How do you feel?
It's weird. They just put the belt back on Chelsea Green in what seemed like maybe a reset. And I like Chelsea Green. I'm a big Chelsea Green fan. I do think that Giulia has been like underutilized and not really able to showcase what she can do. I do think, again, I say this all the time, hindsight 2020, maybe Giulia was someone you call up Stephanie Vaquer and you keep Giulia to build to lead the women's roster in NXT. Hindsight's 2020, who knows, whatever.
Right, because I forget she was NXT champion.
She was.
So why not just have her be a champion for a long ass time, kind of build her up as a beast, and
you can have those more Giulia style matches in an NXT.
Absolutely.
I like that Giulia is the U.S. champ again. The match was kind of rushed. It wasn't really anything to write home about, and it just kind of felt like a awkward, quick, like flip-flopping the title back to Giulia. So I don't know who backstage was like, no, never mind. We want to do some stuff with Giulia now. I have no idea. As a Giulia fan, but more so as a wrestling fan, I would have rather them just go with lean into the reset, have Chelsea. I just don't see the point of just like giving it to Chelsea, who is also a star, and then taking it right off her to give it to Giulia, mainly because that all just stems from like distrust for how they've been booking the women's US title and Giulia. So you know what I mean? So I am optimistic as I can be, given the history.
It's a title win.
It's a title win. I do just think the SmackDown women's roster is a little bit thin. So it's like I would love, and a Jordan Grace does help. I mean, Giulia versus Jordan Grace is like the U.S. title match. I hope that's what they lean into. As much as Jordan Grace, I do think is a pretty soon to be world champ. But I don't know. I'm wary, but I'm optimistic, and I'm also just like, huh? Like what are we doing? I don't know. That's where I'm at.
Step in the right direction, I think. For the I watched the match and the match was kind of meh, and I immediately just kind of from the title result just like, oh, I can't wait to talk about this on the podcast and see like, because again it wasn't anything good, and also too it kind of just feels like we're going back in circles, and it's like hopefully this title reign will be better than the first one.
Yeah, like I said, I'm hoping there's a reason for them to be like, no, we like get it back on Giulia. And then I don't know. People are speculating that like now there's a new SmackDown was good. SmackDown kicked Raw's ass. IMO.
Yeah.
So now people are saying like, there's a different maybe in the new year there's a shake up backstage with writing or like who knows.
And with SmackDown being 3 hours, the matches were longer. Like Melo and Johnny went for a while.
That was a fun match.
It was a fun match. And I guess not to bro. Don't mean to skip to the next thing.
No, go ahead.
But Melo and Johnny had a really good match for the U.S. title. I guess Tommaso Ciampa might be on his way out.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. I kind of forgot about that. Yeah. Report which kind of explains maybe why they've been kind of leaning on a Johnny doing solo stuff, but reports are Tommaso Ciampa will not be renewing his contract once it comes up, whatever that is. I mean, he's kind of off TV now, so maybe they're just kind of going right along with it, knowing he's not going to re-sign. I don't know. It's weird to me because DIY has been very showcased as a tag team in SmackDown.
Even more recently too, I really enjoyed Tommaso's pursuit of the U.S. title when Dragunov had it.
Yeah,
they kind of really delayed that, and that's kind of part of like one of my favorite parts of the Dragunov's U.S. title reign was Ciampa's pursuit of it and trying to get that match going, and eventually didn't have a banger, came up short, but I guess maybe that was his swan song. Triple H won't be able to fulfill his fantasy of booking Johnny and Tommaso in a Hell in a Cell match, which is very unfortunate. But
do you think we see Ciampa in AEW?
It would make sense. He fits the mold, in my opinion. I think him being in the Don Callis family will rock.
See, you know what though? I know people are saying that, but he's a Death Rider.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He looks too much like Moxley.
I know. I think that's kind of
he's got to wear a wig or something.
100%. He does got
a funny little wig or something.
Only one bald guy. Or no, I guess two. But it's already two bald guys in Death Riders. You can't have three bald guys in one faction.
You can't put him in the conglomerate.
Conglomeration do be fucking sick. That'd be so funny.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but to the point of Melo and Ilya. Melo and Johnny. That match rocked. Melo has really proven that like. Which we all knew this, but it's like if you give the guy a chance and you give the guy a belt and you give the guy time to have some fun NXT Black and Gold-esque matches, like I know Melo wasn't there, but you know what I mean. He's gonna be a star and people are gonna be behind him. He's
gonna show out. Yeah. And, more opportunity to show his personality will be a good thing. Tell you what though, you better hold that title tight with Trick Williams now on the roster. I think that would be a great first.
That'd be sick.
Feather in the cap for Tricky.
Yeah, I think wait on it a little bit, but I do
opposed.
think that is the feud. That's good. That's a great point. Okay, we have speaking of people making the most out of things, we got a returning. I paint the whole picture here. First of all, I'd be remiss if I did not mention this guy over as hell, Kit Wilson, baby, comes out. A creative Titantron. He's got a new look. He's got a banger of a theme song. Kit Wilson. People are loving it. He comes out, is doing like this whole heel jobber thing, but then everyone's like, we fucking love him. And then, which I do want to talk more about Kit Wilson too, but then you had kind of an open challenge sort of thing. We got Zack Ryder coming back, and then the shit changed, which I love this trope, like the music going like, no. Matt Cardona is in the WWE, not only in the WWE for this match, but officially signed to SmackDown, to the WWE. Maybe a John Cena phone call was maybe made. Who knows? Surprising new addition in the new year. I'm not mad at it. I do love the indie god. People are already giving him shit though for dropping his indie dates, which is very funny. A lot to talk about here. I don't know. Where do you want to start? We got fucking Cardona. We got Kit.
I don't know if Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona, but which one of those two guys needs to find out who booked him against Kit Wilson, because ain't nobody giving the time of day for either Zack or Matt, because Kit Wilson stole the hearts of millions during this segment on SmackDown. I mean, we come back from commercial, I believe, and immediately the Titantron I think everyone's attention just got immediately caught like a fish being dug out by a bear or something. Like it was like, whoa, what is this? This is very like it's long gone are like the days of the great Titantrons back in the day, and this immediately popped and showed out. And now comes Kit Wilson with his theme song, dude. Which I'm not sure if he's had it for a while or whatever. But
brand new, I think.
If it is, it's taken over the world.
I'm seeing like TikTok dances to it. It's crazy.
It's all anyone's talking about from this match. And it's like, damn, I feel bad for Zach and Matt. But Kit Wilson, I mean, hey, I think I almost called him Efron because of the Jimmy from the Key Rookie package. Elton Prince is injured, so Kit's by himself, and it's kind of a sink or swim moment seemingly. Some people making the comparisons to like when Giovanni Vinci was by himself and kind of had some kind of a new look to him, and then next thing you know he's gone. But I don't know. There's something there with Kit.
There, dude.
And this was a good showing.
It goes to the point, and we talk about it all the time, and it's almost annoying to bring up at this point, but like you see how easy it is. You see how easy it is where you give a wrestler you give him a character. Isn't that crazy? Give him a character. Give him a creative Titantron that's appealing. It tells who his character is. It adds to the visual appeal. And you give him a good theme song. All of those three things make up a wrestler and gonna instantly get you over before the guy even enters the ring. It's like, oh, wait, this is a cool theme song. I like his look. That Titantron's sick. Okay, I'm invested. I like this guy. Now let's see what I can do in the ring because now I care. It's not hard to get people to care, and like this is all you need to do. And for a Kit Wilson, if you told me at the beginning of the year Kit Wilson is going to be over with the crowd, I'd call you crazy.
I'd say it's even more crazier, John, that I think right now you got a guy that's been on the roster for a long time, that's been in a tag team for a long time, that from this moment, I think there's like seriously momentum that the casual viewer or the non-wrestling fan might be catching wind of Kit Wilson just because of the viral trends, the theme song.
It's the Joe Hendry effect in terms of the theme song.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing that was sitting on your nose the whole time and just like a little, not a fresh coat of paint because Kit's always been kind of like this, but more of a shine, and then there you go.
It's so easy. Just do this.
Just crazy. This came during the return of
so crazy,
a pretty a legendary wrestler who's kind of the
legendary. He's crazy.
No, I think here's the thing. Legendary, like Kelly's a legend.
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is.
Damn it, she is.
Zack Ryder's a legend. Matt Cardona, like internet god, like he's a legend. Like he's, I'm saying the wrestling legend is. I think,
especially if you see him.
Titus O'Neil's a legend.
Yeah,
everyone's a legend. I'm telling you.
Everyone kind of is a legend.
If you were with the WWE or a major company for like 10 years, you get the
little, especially in like legend. 2K, you get the little legend thing. I get what you're saying. But yeah, I like Cardona. I've been I follow him on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff, or I don't know about Instagram, but I see like what he's been doing. I saw him on the Indies maybe 2 years ago when he was really doing his indie god gimmick. I think I've seen him once or twice else on the Indies, but I've also been keeping tabs. He's been doing stuff in I think upstate New York. He's been doing a lot of work in, also New Jersey. He's been everywhere. He's been really killing it. And like, say what you about Cardona, if you like him or you don't like him, or you weren't into Zack Ryder or you were, you gotta at least give the guy credit of like, the guy never stopped working, and also just cool, like, a kind of outside thing, maybe a little parasocial thing, but like him and Chelsea now have the same job. That must rock, imagine being that couple and like, oh, now we're like, we have the same work schedule and we're on the same show, as opposed to like, I'm sure this is gonna get real parasocial about it, but like, Chelsea is in Tennessee for SmackDown and Cardona's got to do an indie show in fucking Vermont or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like that's also cool. Again, people are giving him shit for like dropping titles and indie stuff, and like,
you call yourself the indie god. I kind of think any flack he gets is deserved.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. I do think it is way more a WWE thing. Because yes, he is an independent contractor, but like I don't know why all of a sudden people are like shocked. WWE has been this way for years, that they are very strict with their contracts and controlling. And if you have a WWE contract, you are not working anywhere else. You know what I mean? Yes. So like, I'm sure if it was up to him, I don't want to speak for him, but like, sure, maybe he'd fulfill obligations or drop titles here. 'Cause he has like 4 titles that he has to drop and vacate. But I'm giving that more to like, that's WWE that have always been like, oh, you're signed to us, no more dates. Like it's the same company that has they implemented, which now it's out, but they implemented a 1-year no compete clause with Andrade. It's the same company, so you know what I mean. So I'm giving them a break on that, but it does kind of stink for the indie spots that like had Cardona as their world champ.
I tell you what, though, I'm very interested to see what they do with Matt Cardona on the main roster, because you had the Zack Ryder tease, and I like the trope of like, nope, fake out. It's actually always ready Matt Cardona, but you make a name. Matt Cardona's name is the indie god. Your whole character in a sense, because I'm very casual kind of following of what he's been doing the last 5 years, and let's say vaguely of a fan, and I think it's cool. But the coolness of it is riddled in the fact that you're anti-WWE, you're anti-establishment. You are the guy that's
doing it on his own.
Yeah, you're the massive big fish in the smaller pond, but now you are the fish back into the giant ocean, and it's kind of like, so I'm very curious what they go for with this character. I would like to see a promo next week, maybe he really hates the Zack, because they were going woo 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 during the matches. And like, he's very much still Zack Ryder in many people's WWE's fans' eyes. So I'm very curious to see how they navigate the rest of the year with trying to build, Matt Cardona versus Zack Ryder. I personally love the pairing of Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. But Ethan Page isn't married to her, so maybe it makes sense to we get a nice heel husband-wife couple on television. I'm with it, or maybe keep them separated, because there are two individual people, but still.
I guess just the greater question too, even like outside of like what they do with the characters, like in general. As much as I do like it, I'm glad this guy like achieved what he wants to and whatever, and I'm over the moon for him. In 2026, I mean, granted, WWE does love their older age and also older. I guess nostalgia-wise, what's the place for Matt Cardona in 2026? He's not a world champion. I would even be shocked if he wins a mid-card title.
Yeah, that was kind of what we're doing on the stream when I was streaming SmackDown. I was like, what can Matt Cardona win? And it was like, okay, U.S. title, sure. IC title, again, I don't know. So bring back the European, bring back the hardcore, bring back the what? 24/7. It's kind of like a recurring bit of what else can he win? And like we were some kind of defunct tournaments came up, the Gold Rush tournament came up, anything but a world title. I think there definitely for sure is a spot for this man.
Yeah,
I just called him a legend for God's sakes. But whether that be, I think. Maybe he can be in a tag team, or I think, he for sure has the chops for microphone work, and I think he could definitely develop an interesting character and storylines. But yeah, I don't really know. I'm really going to be curious to see on SmackDown this Friday, one, what the follow-up is for Matt Cardona. I think you're right. A promo is needed. Maybe continuing this, continuing a feud, because I think Kit Wilson deserves it after last week. Maybe, work on the fact that Kit Wilson was the talk of the town over you. Maybe a Matt Cardona heel turn for sure, because again, I think he really needs to respond to those woo-woo-woo chants he was getting, and the fact that he for sure, as a man, I'm sure personally in reality, doesn't want to be referred to as Zack Ryder, but these fans, I think, know you for 10 years as Zack Ryder. They're going to be woo-woo-wooing. They're so accustomed to doing the, what's he call it? The drive-by kick or whatever, where he does the woo-woo-woo. I think there's for sure maybe a potential feud between Matt and Kit. Yeah, I was regardless of I think it's like obviously Matt Cardona is like the new guy or whatever, but like I think especially after last week, you do have a 3-hour Raw. You got to showcase Kit Wilson too, whether it's with Matt or not. I think it's I would even argue it's more important right now to showcase a Kit Wilson than a Matt Cardona. Especially,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I know that they like to placate like they don't read social media, but he's Kit Wilson. To me, in my perspective, is everywhere. I even made a video and I was rage baiting. I was kind of just saying, I hate the Kit Wilson theme song. I think it's good, and I think it's definitely just like, for me, my perspective, it's definitely like a wowing thing of like seeing how many people like it. So naturally, I went like, it's not that good. It's for attention, and got a little bit, but
and I got a little bit. But was it worth it? Was it worth it?
I think so. Yeah, it's fun to be in the conversation, and I do like to rage bait sometimes. So.
That's fun. Yeah, that's good to know. that's awesome. Last thing of the show, I think, unless we have like some other stuff that comes up. Ambulance match to close out SmackDown. This was fun. We got an ambulance match on SmackDown. Oh, we do have to talk about. Okay, we have one more thing, but ambulance match. This was fun. Ending was, which is very funny to kind of see, which is like, I love these sort of matches too, because stuff always just goes wrong. A door gets locked, or like, you know what I mean? But it was fun. It was a fun, like, stipulation that we don't usually see on TV or in WWE really in general at this point. We got Aleister Black going through a table at the end. Hopefully, this is the final match of this feud. Damian Priest even got the fireball back. We got Zelina Vega and Rhea Ripley involved. Rhea Ripley popping out of the back, which I thought was like a lot of fun. This was great. I don't have much to say about it.
I think a net positive overall this feud for both wrestlers. I'm glad Aleister Black has returned to WWE. He got some wins here. The last man standing match with him and Priest was really good too, and this match was very solid too. They've really held down the SmackDown, kind of mid card placement for both these guys, and a huge win for Damian Priest, who you sometimes forget this guy's a former world champion, and he's just kind of just this feud was good, and I do like the pairing of the Terra Twins. I don't see them continuing on that. No. I think that's just kind of.
I like that they're always just like, if you ever need help, like you're there,
kind of like Brother Destruction, Kane Undertaker type business. And I think the pairing of Zelina Vega and Aleister Black is something I love seeing every week on my TV. So keep going with that.
I do just hope, I hope after this we still see Aleister. I want to see Aleister in some matches. I hope. I mean, not that he should just keep losing U.S. Open Challenge matches, but like.
Maybe him win one time.
Maybe you win. But him versus Melo would be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I do just hope. It does seem like they're gonna do something after with Priest. But again, I guess my worry is just Aleister Black. But again, I don't have much to say about this match. I just had a lot of fun. I will also admit with the 3-hour Raw, I did watch it late, so I did get to fast forward through all the commercials. So I don't really know how long it was to sit all the way through. 3 hours is a lot for a wrestling show, I think, but. I guess we'll see this Friday. I don't know if I'll watch it live or not, but watching it on delay, fast forward the commercials.
That's maybe the way to do it. Yeah.
Great move. You know what I mean? I couldn't stream it, but kind of great move.
Absolutely.
All right. Last thing we'll talk about, I think. We got the 3 stages of hell stipulations announced that will happen this Friday, which, like, first and foremost, very cool. At the very least, like, we got an ambulance match last week. We're getting a 3 stages of hell match, like, next week on Raw. I do think because there's a gap between pay-per-views, maybe, but, like, that's sick. But stipulations. I think we're maybe speculating on the stipulations before.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but first one is a singles match. Second one is Falls Count Anywhere. Third is Steel Cage.
Yep. Very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Very underwhelming. I know, like, last week I was kind of like, I'm a purist. And I like the first fall to be a singles match.
That, yeah.
But I don't know, man. I especially if the second fall is basically the same goddamn thing, but just like, you can pin him anywhere.
Yeah.
It's very, like, very underwhelming for the name 3 Stages of Hell. So you're telling me the first stage of hell is just a regular match, a match that we get every week. So we're basically in hell every week is what you're telling me. Yeah, I think there's definitely other more sexier combinations. To me, like, especially because we know we're going to get the third stage.
Right.
Just make it a fucking cage match then. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
So, but, and then the segment 2 was very funny unintentionally. The picture, the flames, and it was a regular regular photo just being burned of, like, again, Cody, you can just download that picture off the internet at any given point. And then Cody then tweeted a different picture, similar style, but it was him, Dusty, and his brother Goldust, compared to the picture that they used. Many speculation is like, Cody actually wanted to use that picture with Goldust, but a little, hey, no, he's working for the bad guys type deal thing happened. But regardless, like, to me, this has to be a Cody retain. I'd be shocked if Drew were to come away. I mean, good for Drew to probably getting one out of one of the falls.
Yeah, which fall? We'll call it now. Which fall does he
first.
get? I
think it's the first one
or the Falls Count Anywhere.
I think it's the first one. Because that's kind of the cooler one to get, in my opinion. Because, like, if it was a regular match, I'm the WWE champion. But damn it was a 3 Stages of Hell match.
All right, I'll split with you then. I'll go Falls Count Anywhere.
Okay.
We'll kind of check if we remember this. We'll check back next week.
Interesting.
To see who got it right. Or when we come Friday, we'll just know. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I do see, like, the grain of salt is sure it is a TV match. Like, are they gonna pull out the bull rope match? Like, probably not. But, like, why do a 3 Stages of Hell match if you're gonna be a little kind of about it? I also, like, I love Drew. I do. WWE's like almost ruined him. He's such a dork.
He's a dork
because he just keeps losing. And it's not it's WWE's fault. I'm just reacting to what I am being given. I love Drew as a wrestler outside of, like, watching it kayfabe wise, but, like, he just keeps losing. And then he, like, now, like, before I used to see his, like, little quips on Twitter, like, oh, that's funny, that's whatever. it makes him seem so lame. He just keeps losing, and and then he'll go on Twitter and then be like, like Cody, you actually suck. And then he loses the next night, and he goes back on Twitter, and then like the burning of like the photo, like the dusty shit seems so forced. It's like everyone uses that.
He's down there. Like, all right, dude. Randy Orton was doing this years ago, pal.
Everyone uses that with Cody. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's
cliche Cody almost at this point when you feud with him.
Yeah, I guess. I'm excited for this feud to be. I'm excited for this feud to be over and for them to be just doing different stuff. You know,
because I keep seeing the noise against a lot of people that either have Cody fatigue or big Drew supporters. Drew needs to get a title victory here. Why not? Like, Cody can win it back if it need be before WrestleMania, this and that. Like, why not just give Drew the title, switch it up? Blah, blah, blah. To me, I like Drew McIntyre. I do. It makes no sense for his current iteration of his character to win the title as he is now, as a whiny little heel bitch that, cannot get out of his own mental way. So I think Cody QB1 takes good care of him this Friday night at SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd be pretty shocked.
Setting up a feud. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying I'd be shocked if he wins.
Setting up a feud against Randy Orton afterwards, because he also returned-ish.
And he did eye that title. He even said, he didn't just eye it, he said, I'm coming for it. He said, I'm coming for that title, which like, that is finally our first grain of sand, or whatever you want to say, towards a Cody versus Randy feud, which I'm hoping. I mean, that's the seed. You know what I mean? Which again does lead to then a Cody retain, or, and this is really getting to the fantasy booking of it, does Randy cost him on Friday? I'll tell you what, no, because WWE just doesn't do stuff.
Ooh, Randy cost him on Friday and then triple threat at Royal Rumble would be kind of hot.
It'd be cool.
It'd be kind of hot. It's not going to happen.
Hey, it'd be fun if they did. God forbid, it'd be fun. But no, we can't have fun.
I'll tell you what, though, Randy's hair, very not there. So that kind of aids to maybe a possible change in attitude. Of course, took out the Miz after a nice long 15-minute Miz promo to start the show on Friday. So, Randy Orton back, baby. That's good to see.
We are back. I like his shirt. I like the blue shirt.
Hell yeah.
All right, folks. I think that is the show. Unless you had anything crazy to bring up.
Nothing. Go to the Patreon for that.
Head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. We're chatting for about another hour. We got a bunch of your questions. We're talking this and that. And thank you to FanDuel, of course. You heard from them earlier in the show. And I guess, I don't know why I'm stalling here.
Thank you, sweet baby Jesus, 6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus. I like to think of Jesus as a baby. That's just me personally. You can picture him as any form you want to, but me personally, I go baby Jesus.
He's the trees. He's the grass. He's the.
He's Jey Uso.
He's Jey Uso. I guess to end it. Thank you everyone again for a massive 2025. We had a lot of fun, and we got big plans for 2026. Big things coming, little things stopping, and thank you for being with us into the new year. I guess is kind of the sentiment I wanted to get off.
Hell yeah, man. If you made it this far in the episode, thank you so much. Tell a friend. Tell a family member. I was making a little compilation clip of the past year of Jimmy from the Q clips, my favorite moments. And I gotta tell you, man, I kind of dropped the ball last week at the Stashies. There's been so many great uncrowned moments throughout the year that we didn't bring up in the Stashies for quiz videos. There was so many good things. I didn't bring my my notes that day, and I regret it because there's been so many fun moments over the past year.
Like what? What are some ones you saw?
So some of the quizzes that really stuck out to me that I think people should go back and watch are the ones like the Guess the Wrestler by the commercial, and we just hear the commercial audio.
That was a good one.
Was really good. Even like some of the podcast episodes, like I went back and listened to. It was my birthday episode, but it was SummerSlam predictions, and we had to navigate. We had to talk about Hulk Hogan's death. And Also me ripping my shirt off. It was a wild episode. And there's other things like that. There was a few of the. Of course, the Money in the Bank briefcase episode where I get the Sweep City is like some of those episodes to me, like we really fire on all cylinders with the banter, all that stuff. So I don't know, making that clip really brought me down memory lane of kind of clipping off YouTube things. I definitely made it too fast. I should have took my time with it because there has been many good moments over the past year, but.
It was long. It was like 12 minutes long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
as long as hell.
I don't
blame it. That just kind of says to the point you're making.
Yeah, man. It's been a fun ass year, and thank you guys so much.
And with that said, folks, go watch the Spirit Squad quiz. Go watch the Spirit Squad quiz.
Yes.
I love putting out those quizzes knowing like this isn't gonna do that well. But it's my I like it. I don't know.
We had a good time.
It's doing okay.
I said, hey, I wrote Mickey. I wrote Mikey. I meant to say. Sometimes when you get into when you people are so mad when you get into character mode, and the thing is too, what happened to that was I took like 2 hours to think of the names. I sat here for like John could attest to it. I sat here for 2 hours. I refused to get that answer wrong. So by the time it was my time to read Mikey, I said Mickey. So I do apologize for that. I wrote Mikey though.
This comment says, "Get Mitch on the pod." We're big Mitch guys over here.
Massive Mitch guys.
Shout out Mitch. All right, folks, that's the show. Join us on the Patreon. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next episode. We'll see you all week. And until then, be safe. Peace. No stay curious this week?
Stay curious.
I was kind of waiting for that.
Shit.
That's funny.
Thank you.
New Year's Day, January 1st, I went to the gym. Place was dead.
Really?
Place was dead. I don't think they ever fired R-Truth. I think he was hired the whole time, and I think that they, quote unquote, fired him just so they could have a juicy WWE Unreal story.
Well, I think it's
That's
important.
my conspiracy.
It's important to. When's the last time you've seen Beyond the Mat? Like, I feel like if they were gonna do it, it was Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns, Chamber.